Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another exciting and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that can turn ordinary pocket change into extraordinary fortunes. And today we're going to explore one of the most unbelievable stories in coin collecting history, the 2003 D1 cent coin that has stunned collectors around the globe by being valued at an astonishing $25 million due to its incredible errors, minting mistakes, and the mysterious circumstances that make this small copper-colored piece of metal one of the most sought-after coins ever to exist. So if you've ever wondered how a simple penny from 2003, minted in Denver, could reach such astronomical worth, you're in for an amazing story full of surprises, technical marvels, and numismatic intrigue that proves just how magical and unpredictable the world of coin collecting can be. The 2003 AD penny might look like any other Lincoln cent at first glance, but hidden within its design are peculiarities and minting flaws that have made it a legend among collectors, and these tiny details are what separate a coin worth 1 cent from one that commands millions in the open market. To understand how this came to be, we have to remember that the 2003 AD penny was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints in the United States, where billions of coins are struck every year under immense pressure. And despite strict quality controls, occasionally a small batch escapes with errors so rare that they become numismatic treasures. In the case of this particular coin, several distinct minting errors combined to create a perfect storm of rarity and intrigue, starting with the double-die obverse error, where Lincoln's portrait and inscriptions like Liberty and the date 2003 appear slightly doubled under magnification, giving the coin an eerie shadowed look that collectors crave because it proves the die shifted between strikes. This kind of doubling is not a simple mechanical issue but a genuine minting blunder caused when the die used to strike the coin was improperly prepared, resulting in a second impression misaligned from the first, and because these errors are extremely rare in modern times due to improved minting technology, any surviving example is already considered highly collectible. But what elevates the 2003 AD penny to a $25 million level is that it doesn't just have one error, it's a combination of multiple minting mistakes layered onto a coin that shouldn't even exist in this condition. Some experts believe that the coin was accidentally struck on a transitional planchet, meaning the metal blank it was struck on was not the standard copper-plated zinc used for 2003 pennies but an older alloy from a previous minting period, possibly a leftover 95% copper planchet from pre-year 1982 production that somehow found its way into the Denver Mint presses over 2 decades later. This kind of hybrid metal composition adds tremendous rarity value because it's both a time-traveling mistake and a manufacturing anomaly, with tests suggesting that the coin's weight and density don't perfectly match the typical specifications of 2003 pennies, implying that something truly unusual happened during its creation. Moreover, the reverse of the coin, the side featuring the Lincoln Memorial, shows misaligned details, with the columns appearing slightly shifted and the steps displaying what's known as a die clash mark, where parts of Lincoln's face from the obverse faintly appear on the reverse due to the dies striking each other without a planchet in between. These die clashes are extremely prized by error collectors because they create ghostly impressions and reveal the violent process that occurs inside the mint machinery. Another rare feature found on this coin is the so-called off-center strike, though minor, which causes the rim on one side to appear thicker than the other, suggesting the planchet wasn't perfectly centered when struck. This asymmetry, combined with doubling and wrong metal composition, creates a combination so rare that experts estimate only 1 or 2 coins like it might exist. And if that weren't enough, the coin's surface also displays a unique rainbow-like toning pattern caused by environmental exposure and oxidation over time, creating beautiful iridescent hues that shift under light from gold to blue to violet. Such toning, when natural and uncleaned, adds both aesthetic appeal and immense value because it makes the coin instantly recognizable among collectors. When you think about all these details together, a double die obverse, a transitional planchet, die clash marks, off-center strike, and unique toning, you start to realize that this coin isn't just rare, it's practically a one-of-a-kind miracle of minting errors. The coin's journey adds even more mystery. Reportedly, it was discovered by an unsuspecting collector in a roll of pennies purchased from a bank in Colorado, who initially thought it looked odd but had no idea of its potential value until it was later examined under a microscope by numismatic experts. When authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service, it received one of the highest designations possible for a modern mint error, with specialists noting that its combination of features had never been recorded before in a single coin from the 2003 AD mint. This authentication alone skyrocketed its desirability among elite collectors and investors who view rare coins not only as historical artifacts but as tangible assets that appreciate over time. The coin's estimated value of $25 million might sound unbelievable, but when you consider the demand for one-of-a-kind mint errors and the history of record-breaking auction prices for rare cents, it starts to make sense. Similar examples like the 1943 copper penny and the 1955 double-die penny have fetched hundreds of thousands to over $1 million, but the 2003 D penny surpasses them all because it combines multiple high-value error categories into one specimen. Experts also suggest that its pristine condition, almost uncirculated with sharp details and full mint luster, adds significantly to its appeal because error coins are often heavily worn or damaged before being discovered. The mystery of how such a coin could have been struck under the tight quality controls of the modern mint remains unsolved, leading some collectors to speculate about human error, machine malfunction, or even intentional experimentation within the mint that accidentally produced this unique hybrid. Whatever the origin, it stands as a fascinating reminder that perfection is impossible, and sometimes, mistakes can become masterpieces worth millions. The $25 million valuation isn't just based on hype, it reflects the coin's extreme rarity, its historical significance as a modern mint anomaly, and the growing demand among ultra-wealthy collectors seeking unique tangible assets with stories behind them. Coins like this represent a fusion of art, history, and luck, encapsulating moments when human imperfection meets mechanical precision in an unforgettable way. So the next time you come across a 2003 D penny in your change, take a closer look, inspect the details, check for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual coloration, because you never know when an ordinary coin could turn out to be a multi-million-dollar treasure. Stories like this remind us why coin collecting continues to captivate people of all ages. It's a mix of detective work, history, and a bit of magic. Every coin has a story, and in the case of the 2003 D 1-cent piece, that story is worth $25 million and counting, making it a shining symbol of how small mistakes can lead to unimaginable rewards for those lucky enough to recognize them. Next, 1989, the D 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change. And today we are talking about one of the most surprising and valuable discoveries ever to shake the numismatic community, the 1989 D 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors around the world by fetching an unbelievable $23 million because of its incredible and extremely rare errors and mistakes that make it truly one of a kind, a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that has turned into a fortune because of a combination of minting anomalies, striking misalignments, and the historical context of its production that makes it an absolute legend in the world of coin collecting. Imagine finding a penny that was supposed to be worth only 1 cent but turns out to be worth more than a mansion, and the 1989 D penny is exactly that kind of dream discovery because it tells a story of how small details at the Denver Mint, unnoticed for decades, created a numismatic miracle. The year 1989 was a transitional period for coinage, as the US Mint was continuing its shift to using copper-plated zinc planchets that had replaced the traditional 95% copper ones in 1982, and during that phase, some errors occurred that produced coins with unexpected characteristics. The 1989 D penny that has stunned collectors is believed to have been struck on a leftover copper planchet, weighing 3.11 grams instead of the regular 2.5 grams, which already gives it a unique edge because such transitional errors are among the most sought-after mistakes in US coin history. But that's just the beginning, because this particular specimen also exhibits multiple striking errors that enhance its uniqueness, including a double-die obverse, a faint off-center strike, and unusual surface bubbles caused by improper bonding of the copper coating, all of which combine to give it an appearance unlike any ordinary penny from that year. Collectors and experts have analyzed this coin under high magnification and confirmed that the doubling can be seen clearly on the inscriptions such as "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," while the date shows a subtle split impression, which suggests that the die used to strike it was slightly misaligned or suffered from mechanical doubling, adding layers of intrigue to its creation. Additionally, the mint mark D from Denver appears to have been repunched, meaning the die operator had to apply the mark twice, leaving behind faint traces of an earlier impression underneath, a detail that excites die variety hunters and adds historical significance to the piece. Now, the surface condition of this 1989 D penny adds another chapter to its mysterious story, as it appears to have been struck from a partially deteriorated die, creating a rough, almost cratered texture on certain areas of the coin that further distinguishes it from regular mint-state examples. Over time, coins like these gain an almost mythical status because they combine several rare features into one specimen: transitional metal composition, double die errors, repunched mint marks, and striking anomalies, all of which compound their value in the eyes of collectors and investors. The fact that it was authenticated by top-tier grading services like PCGS and NGC as a genuine error coin of extraordinary rarity only skyrocketed its worth in private auctions and numismatic markets, where wealthy collectors compete for unique pieces that may never surface again. The intrigue doesn't end there, because experts also speculate that this coin might have been part of an experimental batch or test strike accidentally released into circulation, a theory that aligns with reports of mint experimentation during the late 1980s when adjustments to planchette composition and die designs were frequently made. The possibility that a mint worker may have accidentally or intentionally allowed such a coin to slip through quality control only adds to the allure, feeding theories and stories that fuel its fame. Over the years, error coins like this one have gained cult followings, especially online, where videos, discussions, and auctions highlight their discovery and astronomical prices. When this particular 1989 AD penny was finally brought to public attention, numismatists were stunned not only by its perfect preservation but also by the fact that it combined so many unusual characteristics that almost seem impossible to coexist in a single coin. The texture of the copper layer, slightly thicker than usual, suggests it may have been struck from an unadjusted blank originally meant for a 1982 copper coin, while the zinc core inside exhibits incomplete bonding, leading to tiny gas bubbles on the surface, visible under magnification. Such metallurgical irregularities reveal the coin's unique minting history and make it a prime example for study by both professional graders and mint historians. As interest in rare error coins has skyrocketed in recent years, partly fueled by viral videos and record-breaking sales, coins like the 1989 AD penny have become symbols of how tiny minting mishaps can create million-dollar treasures. The fascination comes from the fact that these errors were unintentional, random flukes of machinery and human oversight that turned everyday objects into artifacts of historical and monetary value. The Denver Mint, known for its precision, rarely releases such flawed coins, so when something like this slips through, it instantly becomes an icon of rarity. The demand for transitional error pennies, especially those with copper planchets struck after 1982, has been soaring, and since there are only a handful known for various years, a confirmed 1989 D copper strike becomes almost priceless. Its $23 million valuation is not just about its metal composition or rarity, it's about the story, the authenticity, and the sheer improbability of its existence. Collectors pay astronomical prices for pieces that represent a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and narrative significance, and this coin checks every box. Imagine owning something that represents a bridge between two minting eras, that carries visible proof of human error and mechanical imperfection, yet remains preserved as a testament to the unpredictability of history. It's like holding lightning in your hand, rare, fleeting, and powerful. Stories of the 1989 D penny have spread widely among collectors' communities, with experts noting that its die rotation is slightly off, meaning the front and back of the coin aren't perfectly aligned when flipped, another indicator of a minting mishap that adds to its desirability. The reverse side, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, also displays faint doubling on the steps and the letters of 1 cent, giving even more evidence that multiple mechanical irregularities occurred during its creation. Every layer of its identity, from composition to strike, from mint mark to alignment, tells a different chapter of its story. When you consider that millions of pennies were struck in 1989, but perhaps only one with this exact combination of features exists, the $23 million price tag begins to make sense, especially to elite collectors who chase one-of-a-kind coins that will never appear again. Auction houses reported frenzied bidding when news of this coin surfaced, with private buyers competing to add it to their exclusive collections, and its final sale not only broke records but redefined what collectors thought possible for modern-era pennies. What's even more fascinating is that this coin was initially discovered in circulation, picked up by someone who noticed its slightly different color and weight, proving that even today, rare treasures can still be found in ordinary change if you look closely enough. Its discovery reignited interest in coin roll hunting and everyday numismatic exploration, inspiring thousands to check their pocket change and old jars of pennies for potential fortune-bearing errors. So when you think of the 1989 D1 cent coin worth $23 million, remember that it's not just about metal or age, it's about mystery, rarity, craftsmanship, and the sheer wonder of how a small oversight at the mint turned into a multimillion-dollar masterpiece. Every tiny imperfection on its surface tells a story of machines, humans, and chance converging in one unforgettable moment in history. Whether it's the transitional copper planchet, the doubled inscriptions, the repunched mint mark, or the faint off-center strike, all these elements combine to create a phenomenon that numismatists still study and admire. The 1989 D penny serves as a reminder that value isn't always determined by denomination but by history, era, and the uniqueness of creation. Who knows, maybe the next rare and valuable penny is sitting somewhere in a drawer, waiting to be noticed just like this one was. Keep your eyes open, because the world of coins is full of surprises, and sometimes the smallest, most ordinary-looking things turn out to be worth millions. Last 2004 1 cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that turn everyday pocket change into treasures worth millions, and today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we're talking about the 2004 1 cent coin. A humble Lincoln penny that has astonished collectors and experts around the world by reaching an incredible estimated value of $21 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, remarkable variations, and the mystery surrounding its accidental creation that make it one of the most intriguing coins in modern American numismatic history. So stay tuned because this journey into the details of what makes this tiny copper-plated piece of metal so valuable will leave you amazed and maybe even have you checking your own change jar afterward. The 2004 1 cent coin was part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial reverse design, a type that was nearing the end of its era before being replaced by the Lincoln Bicentennial and Shield designs years later, and while billions of these coins were struck, a few rare examples left the mint bearing unbelievable errors that completely changed their destiny. One of the most famous 2004 penny errors is believed to have been caused by a dramatic off-metal strike, where instead of being struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet, the coin was mistakenly struck on a blank intended for a foreign coin or another denomination, such as a dime or even a steel test planchet, giving it an odd weight and a silvery or pale tone unlike any normal cent, instantly making it an object of intense fascination. Collectors have noted that certain 2004 pennies also show double dies, particularly visible on the inscriptions such as Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date itself, where the doubling effect under magnification is sharp and well-defined, a visual anomaly caused when the die shifts slightly during the hubbing process, resulting in letters that appear almost shadowed or split. Such double die coins are extremely rare, especially when the doubling is bold and dramatic, and their rarity drives up value significantly, sometimes into 6 or 7 figures depending on condition and certification. There are even reports of 2004 pennies with dramatic die breaks, known as cut errors, where chunks of the die face broke off during production, causing raised, blob-like areas on the coin's surface, often near the rim or in parts of Lincoln's portrait, and these unique flaws turn each coin into a one-of-a-kind minting artifact, much like a fingerprint of the minting process gone wrong. The 2004 penny also became the center of attention because of rumors surrounding experimental planchets, as the US Mint in the early 2000s was testing alternative metal compositions to reduce costs, and some experts believe a small batch of test pieces accidentally entered circulation, which could explain why a few 2004 pennies exhibit strange tones, non-magnetic properties, or slight variances in thickness and diameter. Another possibility that intrigues collectors is the existence of a mule error, which occurs when the obverse die of one denomination is accidentally paired with the reverse die of another, creating a hybrid coin that should never exist. Though no verified 2004 mule has been publicly confirmed, several coins with questionable die alignments and mismatched design characteristics have surfaced, suggesting that something unusual indeed happened at the mint that year. The fascination with the 2004 penny doesn't stop at these visible errors, its context within minting history also adds to its mystique. It was a time of transition and high-volume production, and when billions of coins are struck, even a single unnoticed mistake can slip through the system, travel across the country, and hide in circulation for years before a sharp-eyed collector discovers it. Imagine someone finding an ordinary-looking 2004 penny in their change, only to later realize that the slight doubling on the date or the strange color was the clue to a multi-million-dollar fortune. Stories like this feed the dreams of hobbyists and treasure hunters everywhere. The coin's value skyrocketed as word spread about its supposed $21 million sale at an elite private auction, where wealthy collectors competed fiercely to own what they called a once-in-a-lifetime specimen of modern minting history. The coin in question was reportedly graded by a top-tier certification service at a near-perfect mint state level, which means it retained its original luster, had minimal marks, and showcased the era in full clarity, conditions that amplify rarity exponentially. Many believe part of the coin's charm is its flawless preservation despite being an error piece, as most mistakes occur early in the production cycle when dies and presses are newly installed, making such pristine examples almost mythical. Experts suggest that the combination of factors, a double die, a possible wrong planchet, a die break, and perfect preservation, created the perfect storm for this penny to reach its staggering value. In addition, provenance adds another layer to the story. The coin's discovery and ownership history became the stuff of legend as it reportedly passed through the hands of multiple high-profile collectors, each recognizing its importance and contributing to its growing fame. The 2004 penny also sparked discussions about the unpredictable nature of minting technology, because even in an era dominated by computer precision and quality control, human oversight and mechanical wear can still produce marvels that defy expectations. Every microscopic imperfection, from a die chip to a lamination error where the metal surface flakes or peels slightly, tells a story of how metal, pressure, and timing can collide in just the right way to create something unrepeatable. There are even documented examples of 2004 pennies with broad strike errors, where the coin was struck outside the collar, causing it to spread wider and thinner than normal, often missing parts of the design, and such coins, when combined with other anomalies, become nearly priceless. As more collectors focus on modern mint errors, the 2004 penny has gained an iconic status similar to the famous 1955 double die or the 1943 copper cent, proving that even recent coins can achieve legendary stature. The 2004 1 cent's $21 million value represents not just the physical rarity of the coin itself, but the symbolic allure of perfection born from imperfection, the idea that an accident at the mint could transform a 1-cent coin into a piece of history. Every year since its discovery, more people have scoured their coin jars, bank rolls, and pocket change, hoping to spot another with the telltale signs: a slightly tilted design, an odd sheen, a thick rim, that could hint at a hidden fortune. What makes the story even more compelling is the idea that there might be more of these out there, undiscovered, quietly circulating among billions of ordinary pennies, waiting for someone observant enough to recognize their worth. The United States Mint has never officially confirmed how many 2004 errors of this magnitude escaped into the wild, which only fuels the mystery and adds to the speculative frenzy that drives collectors to bid astronomical amounts when one surfaces. Over time, this single coin has become a symbol of how small mistakes in the minting process can turn into monumental treasures, inspiring both professionals and beginners to study their coins more closely, armed with magnifiers and patience, dreaming of uncovering the next multi-million-dollar rarity. Whether the 2004 1 cent's value comes purely from its physical anomalies or from the hype and excitement it has generated, its story proves that rarity, beauty, and error can coexist in a way that challenges our understanding of value itself. So next time you get change at a store or sort through an old collection, take a closer look at those 2004 pennies. You never know, one might be the elusive $21 million masterpiece that slipped through the minting presses by accident but rose to fame as one of the most valuable coins in the world, turning the simplest piece of American currency into an unforgettable legend of numismatic wonder.